Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 27, 2023. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Here.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Here.
Councilman Minichino.
Here.
Councilwoman Travers.
Here.
Vice President Zapsik.
Here.
President DeYoung.
Here.
Thank you.
Can I ask the municipal clerk to file the officers' reports? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Please pledge of allegiance in a moment of silence. Get ahead of us.
I
Seated. Now, Madam Clerk, can I ask you to file the reports of the, from the municipal officers?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the July 11th, 2023 meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Councilman Minichino.
abstain.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Zapsik.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes. Now
Thank
I would like to invite the mayor up for our Community Development Block Grant Awards CDBGs.
Good evening, everybody. So I have been on council prior to being mayor for just about 8 years, and every single year the mayor did this CDBG grant production here where we call everyone up and we thank everyone. I was always like, I love this night. This is like the best night that we have here in Town Hall because it gives us the opportunity to honor people who work around our town and to help assist them to continue that work. So just a little bit about these grants so that people who are watching understand what we do here. Social services agencies, such as those that are here this evening, fill a crucial role. They provide basic, essential needs to our residents and do so with caring and compassion. Each year, the township receives community development block grant funds to use specifically for social service projects. We award those funds via grants to agencies and programs that are here in Brick serving our residents. We received more than 101.5 million? 100,000. 100. Oh, I thought that was like all together. I can't read. There's a period instead of a comma. There's a period where there should be a comma. $101,500. There we go. That should be a comma. In requests, and we have $46,376.85 in CDBG funds to award. The selection process is not easy, and the council and I appreciate the hard work of all the organizations that applied. Representatives from some of these groups are here tonight, and as we announce each group, I'd like those members to please come up, and if you'd like to say a little bit about your organization and what you do, that would be wonderful. The very first organization we're going to call up is Matthew Brady from the ARC, who is receiving $3,000 as part of his program to provide vocational skills training for people with intellectual disabilities. I had the honor of visiting the ARC last week or the week before, and it was really so much fun. So thank you for coming today, and let's hear all about your program.
Thank you for having us. We're from the Arc Ocean. We want to thank the Township of Bricktown, not just for the funding, but the unwavering and tremendous support. They've come out to our grand opening. The mayor was just at our program Journeys and Discoveries 2 weeks ago. We're going to use this funding specifically to assist adults with intellectual disabilities earn employment in our community and earn a living wage as they desire, find them positions that they want and would love to grow into. And earn their way into further employment opportunities. So thank you very much for this funding.
Our next organization is the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Is there anyone here this evening? So we don't have anyone this evening, but just so you know, they will be receiving $3,000 towards its goal of providing children facing adversity with strong and enduring, professionally supported, one-to-one relationships that change their lives for the better. So congratulations to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters program. Next, I'd like to call up Megan O'Keefe of Caregiver Volunteers of Central New Jersey. Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey is receiving $5,000 to assist the homebound and elderly with nutrition, transportation to doctor's offices, and companionship. And I'm familiar with your organization. I had the opportunity to work with someone in your organization for about 5 years, and it was really one of the best experiences I've ever had. So I encourage people to volunteer for this organization. It's fabulous. Come on up and talk about what you do.
Well, thank you. We are always in need of volunteers. So Caregiver Volunteers, what we do is we try to offer free supportive services to seniors to help them to continue to live in their home. And as she mentioned, we do everything from grocery shopping, offering companionship, pet therapy, and offer transportation to doctor's appointments. And I'm really happy to announce to you all, we just soft launched another program to help address issues with aging in place, and that's to provide free handyman services to seniors to help with quick fixes, so that grab bar install, changing the light bulb, carpentry, nothing with permits or ladder work, so we're not going to get carried away, but all done through our amazing volunteers. In addition to that, we also got, we're going to expand our transportation program to offer free Ubers and Lyfts similar to doctor's appointments. So we have over 300 clients right in Brick here, so we look forward to continue to help them grow and stay in their homes like we want for ourselves and our families. So again, thank you all so much.
All right. Our next group that I'd like to call up is Marilyn Lago and all of the people who help with the community lunch at the Church of the Visitation. Church of the Visitation Community Lunch Program will be receiving $1,200 to continue to fund that program, and I love you guys. So I'm going to have Marilyn speak. I hadn't thought to wear my apron today, but I will have it on next time, not to worry. Come on up and tell us about the program.
Well, thank you very much, all of you that helped to give us this funding. We really appreciate it. This program would not be at all taken off the ground if it weren't for my volunteers. And this is just a small group. So 15 years ago, people by the name of Frank and Isabel Chronics saw a dream. They wanted to have a soup kitchen at Visitation Church. So they called forth a notice for volunteers. It was overwhelming. We had all the help we needed. So we opened up our doors, and the first time that we were there, we had 8 people. Well, it was a little discouraging, but we did not give up. We kept plugging along, and sure enough, here we are 15 years later, still doing this program. So we got our numbers up to around over 100, 125 sometimes, but then we were hit with COVID. So you know what happened then. We had to close our doors and then reopen a couple years later. So because of that happening, our numbers, were low. But now they are increasing, and we have to thank our parishioners for their help, these people that are behind me and all the others that work for me in the kitchen. We also want to thank some of the businesses and services that have helped us around town. And we have some visitors that come over too, like last week the mayor came over and actually served people. So that was a great help. And we invite everyone here to please come. We turn no one away. So I'm going to leave you with our motto. So we serve the public, we always want to improve our program, and we feed the soul as well as the body. Thank you so much.
I think she mentioned it, but just in case she didn't, lunches are served, the full lunches are served the third Thursday of every month at 12 o'clock. I think the doors open around 11, 12 o'clock lunch gets served. So if you're interested, August 17th is the next luncheon. Our next group that we would like to honor, if Wyatt Earp can please come up, is our Community Services, who is receiving $10,000 as part of their hard work to provide hot, healthy meals to our seniors. Come on up and tell us about the program.
Thank you so much. I want to also congratulate. I'm honored to be included with this group. So just a couple quick fun facts, but over 90% of our participants in BRIC think that our flavor and variety is good to excellent. I don't know how many, I go to a restaurant and I don't get 90% good to excellent. Couple other quick facts. Because of Meals on Wheels, I have less doctor visits and hospitalizations. 62% of our participants said that. Receiving meals makes me feel less lonely because they see somebody every day, 88%. I am eating a more nutritious and balanced diet due to Meals on Wheels, 94%. And I feel more confident living independently, receiving Meals on Wheels, 98%. And we know that. I mean, the other groups that you heard, that's so much what it is. I mean, you know, you're touching these people, you're seeing them. So many of us. The good news is we live in a wonderful town, and we live longer because it's a wonderful town and things are nice. But that makes it tough. So Meals on Wheels are community services. I've been honored to be part of this for. Been a president for over 20 years. So you know we deliver meals every day of the week, and people are socially isolated, and really we also have weekend delivery that we do for people who have no other contact or support. We also have our community cafes where there's no, anybody can come. Somebody in a tuxedo with a ton of money coming out of their pocket to someone who's just wants some socialization or some food. Obviously it's not cheap because, and you heard about the nutrition, everything's balanced. I mean, you can go to, I used to be able to get $1 hamburger at McDonald's. Now it's like, now it's probably $20, but seriously, it's meets all the numbers that I don't usually cook for myself with those numbers. I don't know how many other people are good and do that, but our drivers, so we're not part of the county like these other organizations. We're all nonprofits and appreciate the support. We have, a lot of our seniors are frail and at risk, so we're very proud to be helping them. Our drivers, this is the fun fact I was thinking, they travel around the world 11 times a year if you do the mileage. Literally, that's how many miles we put on delivering meals. So we're very proud of them, and they're tremendous help. And then just a BRIC fact, we delivered did over 35,000 meals to BRIC residents, so we're very proud of that. And I, on a personal note, and you heard the mayor has obviously been around and involved for all her years on council and before, but she participated in our Mayor's March for Meals as a program that we do. So she was actually out there feeding our seniors in our program. So thank you to the mayor and the council. I appreciate, and all the citizens for all their help and support. Thank you.
I'm going to do a shout out to the drivers for that program. I got to drive around for a couple of hours, and not only do they take the time to have small conversations as they're delivering the meals, the people look forward to seeing those drivers. And one thing they do, there's an alarm, a very loud alarm that goes off in the truck every 20 to 30 minutes that the drivers have to check the food temps. They are so safety conscious and making sure that the meals that are delivered are the proper temperature and that everything arrives safely to the people that they deliver to. So kudos to the drivers for that program as well. Our next group that we're going to call up is Contact of Ocean and Monmouth Counties. If Kim Bessler-Santora is here? Yes, come on down. Contact is receiving $3,000 towards its crisis hotline, and let's hear all about that program. Thank you.
Thank you so much to the Township of Brick and also to the mayor for your support and your belief in our mission. We are a 24-hour crisis intervention and suicide prevention hotline. We also do information and referrals by connecting individuals to vital resources that they may not be aware of. We also connect with individuals that are socially isolated and lonely in their homes. We have individuals that have been calling us for years that call us every day, and we're the only social interaction they may have. We started serving the community on December 1st of 1975, so we're in our 47th year of serving, and that first year we answered 8,000 calls, and now we are averaging about 25,000 calls a year. We are always looking for volunteers. We have a new training class starting in September, so if anyone is interested, it is very rewarding, and the training really does help you in all areas of your life, not just in helping, with our callers, but it does help you with communication and skills like that. So thank you so much, and thank you.
Okay. Our next recipient, if I can have Mary Formato come up from Dottie's House. Dottie's House is receiving $1,300 to provide temporary shelter, counseling, and support for victims of domestic violence, including women and children.
I just wanted to say thank you for the mayor and council, the Bricktown Police especially. I am the president of the board of Dottie's House, and Dottie's House has been home to Bricktown for over 20 plus years. We serve our families. We have 17 families that come through for a program who have lived through domestic abuse, the children as well as the mothers. And we provide the 2-year program so that they could stand on their own and become independent and break the cycle. That is what Dottie's House is about. And I would like to welcome you, Mayor Crate, to one time come to our facility and view what your dollars go to, because this is really something that is near and dear. Carol Wolf, who is the founder, she worked here in Bricktown for many years. And Carol Wolf was my husband's aunt, who I've taken over as the president of the board. And we have been working very diligently and hard over the last year with no salaries being taken except for the few admin people that are in the house so that we can make big time repairs. So I thank you all for this award. Thank you.
Okay, next I'd like to call up Daniel Wilson of Interfaith Hospitality Network. Come on down. Interfaith Hospitality Network is receiving $1,400 toward continuing efforts to provide support for homeless families with children.
Hello, I just would like to say thank you to the mayor and to the council and to each one of you. It's just a pleasure to be here. I am the new director at Interfaith Family Services, which was formerly known as Interfaith Hospitality Network. We are now Interfaith Family Services, and as we house homeless families with children, a lot of times there are people who do a day, they do a week, or they do 29 days, but we do up to 6 months until they can get back on their feet and back into society with a place of their own. So in the work that we do, we appreciate everything that we can get. And I stand behind Interfaith Family Services 100% because 17 years ago, I was one of the families in Interfaith Family Services. And I always remember, they said something to me that my answer just came out of nowhere. They said, while you're in this program, you may see somebody that you know. Is that going to be okay with you? And I said, if they see me in this place, they're also going to see me come out and be great again. And I went from being a homeless family in the center to being the executive director in the center. And some great things are happening. We're looking to expand more than ever before. And we just want to once again say thank you to everyone.
Okay. Next, I would like to call up Senior Development Director John Brilla. We are going to be giving the Jersey Shore Council Boy Scouts $1,400 towards its summer camp program. We'd like to hear about that. Thank you so much for coming up.
So the Boy Scouts are a program that delivers character, leadership, and positive achievement for kids ages 6 through 21. We have about 300 scouts in Brick, and this funding helps us deliver the program and help offset the cost of things like summer camp and registrations. Right now we have about 300 kids at our camp in Barnegat this week, the Joseph A. Sitta Scout Reservation. They're doing all sorts of activities from life-saving to welding to anything you could think of. And they stay there for an entire week and get to build leadership and character and all those things. So we're greatly appreciative of this annual grant to help keep those programs running. Thank you.
Sorry. Next, I would like to call up Rachel Johnston from Providence House. Providence House is receiving $10,000 to assist abused women by providing domestic violence counseling and legacy advocacy in families court system.
Thank you so much. We're so excited, A, that we're receiving this again, and B, that it's the high amount as well. Providence House Domestic Violence Services provides free services to victims of domestic violence, including a 24-hour hotline. We have individual and group counseling at our outreach office in Whiting, but we also have an emergency safe house that can house up to 27 women with their children. Currently, we're at 33 clients, and at one point in January, we had 166 clients. So a lot of them are residents of Brick, but we do also provide legal advocacy, where we see about 250 clients here at the court a year. And we're also have the legal advocates here in the courts 10 days a month. And I think we've been doing this for about 20 years with Brick. So our program is extremely busy all the time. I see exactly where the funding is going, where all the donation is going. And this is one of my favorite nights too. These kind of events are really great because I get to say thank you and really talk about how important the funds are and the huge difference and impact that they really do make. So thank you so much. And please come to our safe house as well.
Here, let's do it. Okay, next, I would like to call up Charlie Bacon, Arlene Schwartz, and Jean Ann Pisano. They are of the Brick Morning Rotary Club. That club will be receiving $2,076.85 towards the Shore Movement food drive. Let's hear about that program. Thank you.
You couldn't have rounded that up.
You know, we're given a very specific amount.
No. Want to thank the mayor, obviously the council, the administration for this grant. And want to tell you a little bit about what this grant was awarded for. It's really an initiative we started back in 2020. That's when it got off the ground in November of 2020. And our concept was to have a mechanism to have year-round food drops. So you can go through many towns. We have about 13 towns, 3 counties. You might see one of our bins, and that is to collect food year-round. And sometimes the bin is actually in the administration building. And I believe it'll be back again in September for our Thanksgiving thing. I think it's important, you've awarded us a grant now 2 years in a row. We greatly appreciate that. To give you a recap of what we've done since the last time we saw you last July. And we started off, one of the requirements everybody here receiving money for a grant is to justify the grant. And we have to all substantiate what we do throughout the year. And we estimated we did over 4,500 pounds of food. We also gave out $3,500 of food or cash to pantries, thanks to the grant money we received, because that subsidized some of the food that they don't get from us bringing food in. At Thanksgiving time, we turned our attention to a number of things. We donated 140 turkeys. And many nonprofits, the amount of food we collect is pretty overwhelming. We also, as a Rotary initiative, and Arlene's the president of the club this year, we pick 5 families locally for Brick. We supply them Thanksgiving meals and a whole week's supply of food. We also changed over a little bit. When we started this initiative, we partnered up with Wingman Planning. It's a marketing outfit out of Manasquan. And they started a concept with holiday toys. And we kind of seized on that and worked with them in partnership. And in 2022, we delivered 5,500 toys across many organizations in Brick and in some areas of Southern Monmouth. So we want to thank everybody that participates and helps us. Some of that, a lot of those toys went over to the Brick Pal. We also donated a freezer to the Joint Base. I'm going to talk about that in a second because the Red Cross has a food pantry both at the Joint Base and at NAD Earl, and a freezer is very helpful for people that are involved with food pantries to freeze food for later use. We're going to do something special this month thanks to Arlene. She has a pretty large business across Robbinsville, Silverton, and Brick. She's running a contest, and the food that we're collecting this month is purposely going to the Joint Base in Lakehurst, in Earl, and Colts Neck. Surprisingly, we found this out late last year that a lot of military families that are either on a base or live by a base, there's a food insecurity problem. And July is the biggest month of need for the military bases in Jersey. So thank you, Arlene, for your effort in that. And we're going to work on our first donation to the base on Thursday. I have to plug, obviously, the Brick Morning Rotary. If I didn't, Arlene wouldn't allow me to speak. So we meet every Wednesday at the Brick Diner. A lot of you people might know the Brick Diner or Royal Farms that's open. We meet there every Wednesday morning, 7:30 to 8:30. There's several people in this room that are connected to nonprofit organizations that become speakers for us. And ultimately, we look at the end of our year when we see nonprofits coming in as speakers, we look to see what money we can actually get back to them as well as the food pantries. So with that, I just want to say thank you very much for everyone involved in this process, and we greatly appreciate it.
Finally, our last group that we are going to talk about tonight and the donation, I'll ask Councilwoman Mariana Ponterero to come down. Oceans Harbor House will be receiving $5,000 to assist homeless, abandoned, and abused youth with shelter, meals, tutoring, and programming through a network of professional counselors and case managers. And Councilwoman Ponterero would like to speak on this.
Thank you. As the former Vice President of the Board of Trustees of Harbor House, first, I want to thank the Township, the Mayor, Administration. We are so fortunate to live in a town where our community services, which often fill the gap for people who have income and needs at different levels. We appreciate the care and concern that is given to us by the township. Imagine a child, young as 5, being homeless. But it's true and it's real. Many of the children have fled from abusive homes. Many of the children identify as gay or lesbian and are thrown out of their homes by their parents. Harbor House offers the children a house, a home, a real home, and gives them services that they need to overcome their challenges. And when they become older, they also have apartments for the teens and assist them with getting jobs, learning to manage their money, and help them prepare themselves in locus parentis, in the shoes of a parent, basically. So this program that we have, I don't think we think that often about children being homeless. But I'm here to tell you there are many in Ocean County and in Brick, unfortunately. So it's important that all of us keep our eye on our most vulnerable citizens and remember Harbor House as a resource should you or anyone that you love need it. Thank you so much.
Let's do a group picture.
You know what I look like.
Let's have a group picture, everybody else. Everyone, all the recipients, come on up for a group picture. And then I just have one more thing to say after this, so if you could stay 5 minutes after the picture, that'd be amazing.
She wants us.
I'll do whatever you tell me. Yeah, she's gonna make me get the steps. I know. So for the groups that are staying, I just have like one more quick thing to say and then a quick presentation. So I thought since we were all here together, it's nice to have an audience. First, I just want to say, again, this is my favorite time of year. It's so exciting to hear about all of the great services that are provided through our volunteers. A lot of times, all volunteers who have come up with the idea that community service is important. And it is ultimately how we make this big town of ours have that small town feeling, because we have the opportunity to meet and talk with our community and people in our community who need help or just need someone to talk to. So it's my honor, and I'm sure the honor of the council, to be able to present these awards each year. And we're so grateful to have you in our town and working with everyone in our community to make our town better. So thank you very much to everyone, and I applaud all of you. Thank you. And one last quick presentation that's not on the agenda, but since I have an audience, I'm gonna do it. I would like to call anyone up that is here that represents our Brick Open Space Savers group, or anyone from Save Bretton Woods. So I know there's a few, come on down. So we are very excited to announce that tomorrow, we are finally closing on the Bretton Woods property. This has been a year-long effort to get this land preserved for our township. And there are a lot of people that we need to thank, but I want to talk a little bit about first the importance of what has happened. So initially what was going to be put on this land, this 31 acres over in the Bretton Woods, were 59 homes. And the impact of that on our community, while we do love having people in our community, it would have been great with regard to traffic and really saving green acre space for our town. So we had a lot of people step up from that community, from Bretton Woods. They created Save Bretton Woods. Our Brick Open Space Savers worked with them, and we were able to work together with the NJDEP Green Acres Program and the Ocean County Natural Lands Trust to preserve those 31 acres for our township. And we're very proud of that. I'm very proud of all of you who are standing up here, because we could not have done it without you. So we really appreciate that. We want to celebrate that. And just so people understand, the purchase price of that property was $8.55 million. The town's portion that we have to pay to save that property is $500,000. Okay, so that, yes, we're applauding. The state is putting in $1.2 million, and the county for the open space is putting in $6.8 million. So we appreciate that. I want to thank the county. I want to thank the state. I want to thank everyone up here. And I want to remind people that this is what good governance looks like. This is when we put party aside and we work together with our community and with all of the other entities that are here in our state to make sure that we do what is right for the people in our township. So again, I'm very proud of you guys. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the state for helping us out, and the county. And I thought this was a great opportunity to celebrate, and we had a great audience for it. So thank you so much. And just a round of applause for all you guys.
We are now moving on to our consent agenda, so if you would like to escape, now is the time.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Very good, thank you. 4-1.
Authorize receipt of bids 2023 road program Lakewood Gardens.
Councilman Menachino.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bid for the 2023 Lakewood Garden Road Improvement Project. Roadways in this project are Chestnut Avenue, Bradley Avenue, Walnut Avenue, Garden Avenue, Sherry Drive, Park Place, Melody Avenue, Green Avenue, Green Grove Road, Pleasant Avenue, and Aspen Street. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-2.
Authorize receipt of bids Bay Harbor roadway project.
Councilwoman Travers.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for the Bay Harbor roadway improvement project. Roadways included in this project are East Lane Road, Glen Road, Lime Road, Orange Road, Bimini Road, Appleton Road, Hemlock Road, Beaumont Drive, Clearwater Drive, Somerset Drive, Fontainebleau Drive, Claremont Drive, Sunnydale Drive, Brookfield Drive, Greenfield Drive, Ardmore Drive, Lawndale Drive, Blue Cedar Drive, Acapulco Drive, and Homewood Drive. Thank you.
A lot of drives. Thank you. 4-3.
Authorize receipt of bids 2023 road program Baywood West.
Councilman Albanese.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for Baywood West Roadway Improvement Project. Roadways included in this project include Birch Drive, Glen Drive, Maple Court, Spruce Court, Chestnut Court, Cedar Drive, Holly Court East, Pine Drive South, Bay Laurel Drive, Oletta Drive, Delmar Drive, and Bon Air Drive.
Thank you. A lot of drives and courts.
Copy that.
4-4.
Authorize award of contract uniforms for various departments.
Councilwoman Zapsik. Council Vice President Zapsik. Sorry.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes an award of contract to DOT Designing of Monroe Township and Keyport Army and Navy from Brick for the purchase and delivery of uniforms for various departments. This is a unit price contract not to exceed $50,000 per year. It is a 2-year contract that will expire in July 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-5.
Authorize award of contract through State of New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Program retrofits for drainage.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes an award of contract to Campbell Foundry in the amount of $49,368 for the purpose of drainage retrofits. The State of New Jersey stormwater requirements specify that municipalities install inlet covers at curb openings to prevent garbage and debris from entering into the storm drain system. These retrofits will cover those drains. These retrofits are being purchased under a state contract. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-6.
Authorize closeout change order number 1, Fletcher Street Drainage Extension.
Councilwoman Pontaré.
Thank you, Madam President. This resolution authorizes change order number 1 and closeout for the Fletcher Street Drainage Extension Project. The closeout change order represents a decrease in the amount of $2,157.39 in the contract awarded to Fernandez Construction. The decrease is the result of as-built quantities. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-7.
Authorize award of contract Homes Now, Inc.
Councilman Menachino.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of contract for affordable housing administrative agents to Homes Now, Inc., Brick. As the Township's affordable housing agent, Homes Now implements a program to provide affordable low to moderate income housing units throughout Brick Township. The Township Planner is recommending the reappointment of Homes Now for this service as they have been provided exemplary performance in the administrative of the town's affordable housing plan. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-8.
Authorize support to Ocean County for 4-ton weight limit on Van Zyl Road.
Councilwoman Travers.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution supports the County of Ocean's request to the New Jersey Department of Transportation to impose a 4-ton weight limit on Van Zyl Road. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-9.
49A is a cash performance bond release for Block 870, lots 3105 and 3106, in the amount of $18,660.53.
Thank you. 410.
Tax
Madam
collector?
Mrs. Bergen.
Sorry. 10A is 100% DAV widow of veteran deduction for block 383.28, lot 42. And 10B is a tax overpayment for 2023 at block 1210.11, lot 8.
Thank you. This ends consent agenda. Can I please have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council, close council, open to public for these resolutions only. Seeing none, close public, roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Zapsik.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on, 411, bill resolution, computer 2023.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $15,597,875.75.
Thank you. Can I please have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council, close council, open to public for questions on these bill resolutions only. Seeing none, close public, roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Zapsik.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes. Moving on to 412, bill resolution manual 2023.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,978,926.36.
Thank you. Can I please have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council, close council, open to public on manual bill resolutions only. Close public, roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Zapsik.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes. Moving on to ordinance on first reading, there is no public hearing on first reading.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 145-6 of the Township Code to extend the storefront revitalization program and the waiver of fees for the construction to promote the renovation of existing vacant commercial structures.
Mayor.
Thank you. Very excited to talk about this one. This ordinance extends the current vacant storefront program. Since first being enacted in 2015, 30 empty storefronts have been filled to business owners looking to get started with a new business. In this proposal, the township is encouraging any new business looking to fill any vacant commercial space under 5,000 square feet that has been vacant for at least a year to open for business. All township permit fees will be waived to encourage the startup. Typically, there are fees and charges associated with opening small businesses. These include business license fees, parking, traffic impact fees, and building and planning review fees. All of these fees and charges fund important services, but during times of economic uncertainty and tough credit markets, they can be enough of a barrier to market entry that they impede the type of economic growth that we desperately need right now. The proposed ordinance will forgive all of these fees and charges for qualifying small businesses. Entrepreneurs opening up shop in previously vacant storefronts in the township will not be required to pay the usual fees. This really opens the door for our small business owners to get a little bit of a hand up to get started and for us to start closing or making some businesses happen in those storefronts that, as we talk to people throughout Brick, they find it to be one of their big priorities is to get those storefronts with businesses in them. So I'm really excited about this. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I please have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council, close council, roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Zapsik.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes. Ordinance on second reading, 6-1.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code in Section 288-52 to add locations for the Police Department to enforce motor vehicle regulations on private property.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Council President, most statutes that pertain to motor vehicle laws and the Motor Vehicle Commission are in Title 39 of the New Jersey State's Annotated. When a property owner located outside of a public right-of-way wants to enforce the provisions of Title 39, an application is made to the township to include the property in the Township Code Section 288-52, Schedule 22. This gives the police the ability to enforce motor vehicles, rules, and regulations on that private property. This ordinance lists various locations where property owners have applied to the township for inclusion in our private property enforcement areas. These sites have all been inspected by the Division of Engineering to ensure that the traffic signs and markings are properly installed in accordance with the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices. While the police will have the ability to enforce motor vehicle regulations, the township will have no liability or obligation with respect to site maintenance. Thank you.
May I please have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Close council. Open to public on this ordinance only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President's absent.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now on to public comments. Madam Clerk.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Very good. Who will be up first? Come on down.
John Sluka, no bandage.
Oh.
One day, yeah. Let me read my letter, which I guess you all got about a week ago. Dear Mayor Crate, dated July 20th, Council President Head DeYoung, all councilmen, councilwomen, residents, and workers of Brick Township and Ocean County. Before I start what I consider a top priority for the health and well-being of so many Brick residents and Ocean County residents, I do have a couple questions, which you can answer if you can, when you want, whatever. The first question concerns the electronic or partially electronic bikes that people through the roads of Brick, travel through the roads of Brick. And the second is the status of the sports dome. Concerning the bikes, what are the requirements such as licensing, sidewalk driving, traffic lights, etc.? Next, what's the completion date of the sports dome? So we can look forward to its completion, and what is the status currently? Have we ever reconsidered, again, putting money back into the school system from some of this revenue when we start getting it? That still impacts the residents and, more importantly, the children of Brick Township. The rest of my letter. Now I will bring up the toxins from the Garden State Parkway that have been harming our citizens for over 10 years. All of us have to wonder what has been done or what is being done for the residents that suffer under big government bureaucracies. The Garden State Parkway traffic and often congestion has created noise pollution and fumes in the neighborhoods and homes of the residents who live in the areas of Evergreen Woods, Briar Mill, and many others for years. If the council members or mayor ever get a chance to go into Evergreen Wooded area, they will realize what is needed to protect the residents. One may see why a 14 to 20-foot wall for pollution, noise, and safety along the Garden State Parkway is needed in Evergreen Woods, as well as Primrose Gardens, Greenbrier, Lanes Mill School area, Birchwood, Briar Mills, Cherrywood, Brick High School, and other areas in Brick, and they all need to be constructed. People are dying slowly and painfully under the presence of the government inaction. The silent killer of the airborne toxins created on the Garden State Parkway by the malicious decisions of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority commissioners have been harming our citizens for many, many years. Large trees and dense brush that was destroyed by the New Jersey Turnpike Authority on the Garden State Parkway should be replanted for the health of Brick Township and Ocean County residents. The ill effects of those tiny particulates being sent through the air to our lungs from the Garden State Parkway will cause bedridden lives and premature death for many of our seniors. Articles in Nurses magazines have stated facts on pollution for years, and various medical and pollution studies and articles have proven repeatedly that the toxins from high-volume traffic harm our citizens. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners have caused or amplified autism, asthma, COPD, lung and mouth cancer, heart attacks, and premature deaths in our area. To save the people of Brick and Ocean County in areas such as Evergreen Woods, Greenbrier, Brick High School, Town Hall, Birchwood, and other areas, action needs to be taken in the news and in the courts. It is well past the days that we can lie to ourselves and believe the world is good and will do the right thing. So it's time for the government to act. Saving a life today may be a legacy that we all could live with as opposed to dying with. Thanks for your time. I yield back 1:10.
Council President, can I just address one of the questions that was asked about the sports dome? They did come in to meet with the town today, and we're very hopeful. They just had some minor modifications they wanted to make, so we're hopeful that we'll see a groundbreaking by the end of summer. Yes. It's the hope.
Erin Reynolds, 551 Mark Drive. Neighbors, we're all here tonight. We came 2 weeks ago, talked about the short-term rental that was occurring in our development. We're not sure if anything has happened. It doesn't look like anything has happened. The rental continues. It is our understanding that as of July 19th, if the house, for every day it was advertised on Airbnb, there was a $2,000 fine. So that brings us today, that should be $14,000 in fines. We just are fed up, and we want to know, it's against the law, it's an ordinance, it can't happen, why is it still happening?
And we were told that the code enforcement did contact the owner. Well, we don't know if she's the owner or the host, we don't know who she is, but she claims that she's opening up a store in Ocean County Mall, and these are just workers that are staying at her place. So we just said to him, then why is there a 3-day minimum night rental on Airbnb with reviews about this home? I mean, honestly, I feel like I live next door to a hotel, across the street from a hotel. Every weekend, there's cars. Some of them have talked to them. They're not workers. One group came from Florida, and every weekend it's the same thing. I live across. Right, children, families, right, families, children. They're, it is like we all live in a community where there's a hotel. And if there's, how long, well, first of all, he did say, and this is the code enforcer, that the violations don't apply to money when it is a code enforcement violation, only building inspection violations. It doesn't happen until there's a summons. All right, so now she's gotten 2 violations. When is the summons gonna happen? When is an officer gonna, our summer has been totally ruined. We have lost our entire summer. And now it's up, it's booked until Labor Day. So what do we need to do to get this stopped?
So I'll talk about that briefly, and thank you for sharing. And I did go into the computer system briefly to see who's been out there and how often they were out there. And the most recent call to code enforcement was July 24th, so that just happened yesterday. And there was a call in June. So how it works for code enforcement violations, which code enforcement is property maintenance code, which is separate from a criminal offense or a building offense. So they go out, and by law, we have to issue a warning and give you a date to abate the violation. When that date comes, if there are still postings, if there's still reports from neighbors of activities, and especially the posting, then we issue a summons, because you didn't abate the situation, you didn't remediate it, you didn't stop doing it. So the summons is the clock. But the summons, a lot of folks ignore the summons. They think, well, I'll deal with it later. Maybe I'm making more money on this rental than I would pay in fines. So it has to wait until they go before the municipal court judge to decide what the sentence will be in terms of the monetary penalty that will come with that violation. Code court is once a month. The next date for code court is August the 14th. So I did not, I saw the complaint, I saw he went out there, I saw his notes, and I saw some of the stuff that you talked about, but I didn't see a summons. It doesn't mean one doesn't exist, so I do have to talk to him tomorrow. But if a summons was issued, then it will be heard on August 14th before our municipal court judge.
Virgil Lanny, 564 Mark Drive. I went to the code enforcement, I spoke with you earlier, and I did go to the code enforcement on July 3rd. And I was a little delinquent. I think most of these people down the block from me knew about it before I did. And they had made a complaint, and on June 21st, a letter was sent out that as of July 3rd, that there was no more, it was supposed to cease what they were doing, as far as the advertisements and having guests in there. So I would imagine that from some point at there, July 3rd should be the day, I guess, that summons would be. So we'll find out. I mean, I think we all wanted to make the city aware of what's going on.
Absolutely. And what I think the best thing to do is to have one point person and talk with Mrs. Bergen. You can email, you can call her, and then we'll be able to let you know after she talks to the code enforcement officer as to what the next step and how everything is progressing.
Okay.
And you're welcome to come. You're welcome to come to court also on the day that it's heard.
Hi, my name is Harold Petty. I moved down to Brick 3 years ago. I have one question. When am I not going to be called a Benny anymore?
Few more years. I've lived here all my life.
My concern is I live in the cul-de-sac right next to Virgil. We have a lot of children in the neighborhood. I'm talking about small ones, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever. And they're all around. And they're very nice kids and they're enjoyable. And what we don't need...
Don't worry about it. Continue.
What we don't need is these people coming from out of state or even in state that we don't know anything about, coming in and snatching up these kids or whatever, worst case scenario. I am a veteran, and God forbid that ever happened in our neighborhood, because it's not going to turn out well. So that's my concern. Also, too, with people coming flying, we're on a cul-de-sac, so there's really nobody flying down the street, but what happens if it becomes that? And I'm here to support them. I mean, I'm retiring, I'm going to be down here full time. I don't have children, but I see their concerns, and I have their concerns in my heart also. So something really needs to be done sooner than later.
Very good.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm Maureen Fantazzo, 559 Mark Drive. And this particular home that is there was originally a 3-bedroom home. It was turned into a mother-daughter, the lower level, so there was 4 bedrooms. Now there are 5 bedrooms. 1 bedroom has 2 sets of bunks, so that's 4 in 1 bedroom. The other bedrooms all have double beds. So that occupancy comes to at least 10 people at one time in that home. We don't know whether these people know each other or not. There's a swimming pool. We don't know about insurance. They have young children with them. Is there any, insurance, whatever. But the idea that a business is being brought into a residential community without even anyone even having known about it, other than the realtor and the person involved, is very disconcerting to all of us. And yes, there are people, all these people have SUVs. They must have lots of money. Right now, it's $6,000 a month to rent. Before it was, they used to have it separated more, a week or something like that. But now these are like, for a month, $6,000. So I guess a large number of people will get together, pool their money, and then, go to this place. They all have these huge SUVs. There are people who have problems pulling in and out of their driveways. So, and again, with the small children,
We do have a lot of small children, and these cars are parked in a situation where someone is coming around the corner, their SUVs are right there, there's no way you can see the kids. So again, this is very concerning to all of us, and we would like to see this put to an end
Like
as
I
soon
said,
as possible.
Please, Mrs. Bergen will be your contact to contact the code enforcement officer and figure all of that out. If you feel that you are in danger, always call our police. Absolutely. They will come out.
Police have already been there a few times.
Okay.
On a Sunday about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was going to get myself and my wife's breakfast, and the police were there.
Okay.
You know, I don't know.
Okay.
Needs to be taken care of.
We-
I'm Margie Vasquez. I'm at 553 Susan Drive, and we're here now almost just about 3 years. And I have front view to the house, to the backyard. And it's more that, yes, we moved into a quiet neighborhood, and that was our intention. And now it's not. Now this is, you know, more of a business district. It's definitely a rental. There's no question about it. Total disregard for neighbors. We don't have neighbors. That's not our neighbor. We don't know who's coming in. And there's a safety issue. You know, so you say if you feel you're in danger, you don't know because you don't know who's coming. I don't know who they are, neither does she. So what their intentions are. I work from home. I'm home alone all day until my husband gets home. So that's a concern as well, aside from the fact that, you know, property value and everything else that goes along with that.
We understand your concern, and we will work with you to rectify this. So thank you so much for coming in this evening. So,
Yeah, I'll get it after. Okay.
anybody else? Yes.
Good evening, and I'm welcome to your, this is the first time I've ever been here, and it's nice to meet you, Mayor. I'm here under the residency of Greenbrier 2, which is in Brick, New Jersey. I have a petition here that was signed by our residents. States, we, the undersigned residents of Greenbrier 2, are requesting the Township of Brick address the roads in our community. They are in deplorable condition and are in need of immediate resurfacing. Any questions in this matter may be directed to me, which is signed by myself. Now, there's almost 60 people here. I got this within 2 days. The roads are a mess. We've been asking for 5 years. We're told we're on the list. And today, our manager, who runs the community, someone said in December, they're not that bad. Well, I don't know what not that bad is, but they're actually crates in the street. Now, we are an adult community. We do pay taxes. We ask very little from Brick. We don't do the schools. We have no more services that we get other than the snow and the streets. And I don't think that's asking too much to look into it and not let us wait 5 years. This is an absolute disgrace. That's all I could say. My name is Marie Carpellis.
Thank you. If you could give that petition to our council secretary, and what we'll do is we'll have our township engineer review Greenbrier 2, and we'll have her reach out to you.
I would appreciate that. There are pictures here too.
Great. That was
they
perfect.
lined out the potholes.
Mrs. Murphy will take it.
Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
I'm sorry I missed you when you came into our community.
Anybody else? Yes.
I'm Nan Call at 18 Greenbrier Boulevard, part of Greenbrier 2, and yes, the roads and sidewalks are an absolute mess, but that's not my story tonight. I rise for 2 reasons. One of them is as an emissary from the Ocean County Human Services Department or group, and then myself. I have been part of the human services, specifically individuals with disabilities, since 2002 when I was appointed by Freeholder Mancini. And We have gone through several different things. Frankly, the people here in Brick have been well represented with being on that commission and never get any attention for it. The reason that I was asked, what I came to speak about, is that effectively July is gone. And that gives us 2 months, August and September, to prepare for the 40th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And because of COVID, any anniversary that happened didn't get acknowledged. And even before that, we didn't get recognition. And it's very important what we have been doing for years, and I don't give myself most of the credit. I was the secretary, but the person who was my president of it, Janine Namira, is a young lady, and I don't remember if it's muscular dystrophy or cerebral palsy, but this young woman got a master's degree in social work with these terrible limitations. She went to Ocean County College and got the degrees, and when Sandy came, you have no idea the effort she, and her mother in particular, but also the father, put in taking people in her community, and I'm not positive where she lives other than it's on the water. We may have a significant rainstorm at any point now. The people that are in, such as Janine, an electric wheelchair, you have no idea and you don't want to know because you've never invited Janine to talk to you. How horrible it is. A lot of the people with electric wheelchairs happen to be men that are very heavy. Janine is a young lady and she's not very heavy. But when you're in an electric wheelchair and the rains come and the chair can't go and you can't get out of the house because there's nobody that could even carry you out, and getting even an EMS to come in and get these people. Janine and her mother spoke at meetings, and I've brought to the attention of this council since 2003 at least, that Brick was well represented. There was a woman, Helen Springer, that I believe probably has gone to her eternal reward. She and a fellow, Tommy Spatola, who, because of a gunshot injury, is severely limited by spinal cord injury. He was one of them, and they started the DATE team, disability awareness through education. I've talked about them in times past, but since you don't pay attention. However, I spoke with the director of the disability group and who's part of an executive board on the Human Services about the fact that she had said Friday on the web meeting that we really need to do a lot and we want to make a big splash for the October meeting where we are going to be late in honoring the Americans with Disabilities. Tomorrow actually is their 40th anniversary. I see you looking at your time. I'm asking you to please, on the part of everybody here in Brick, to pay attention to this. Lori, I believe it's Enquist Schmidt, or else it's vice versa. She's the current head of it. She's excellent. And she had said Friday that she will be reaching out to everybody, every municipality, to the governing people about doing something special for October. So you will get a proper announcement from her. But I contacted her and asked her if she would like me to make this alert to you tonight, and then maybe some of you would actually even contact her, but I didn't tell her that. So that's that, and we'll see whether you do anything with it. As for myself, 5 minutes is very little time that you give to people of the town with myriad problems. I'll start with Greenbrier 2. Many of you had spoken about the county, and they have to do the the traffic lights. Well, we all pay for the traffic lights, but you need the seal of approval from the county so you have to club them over the head and get them to work on it, but we all have to pay for it ultimately. We have to pay the electric for them and the curbs. It may be, our roads are dedicated to the town, so they're township roads in Greenbrier too, and every other community, common interest community. But many of the other roads are also township roads, and even if they're not, it is up to township to pay for seeing that the curbs are in proper order. Most of the houses do not have curbs in proper order in Greenbrier 2. And I'll finish, because I know you're going to cut me off, even though I'm not finished, with questioning. I know that I had been out to Walmart one night, and as I came home, there apparently had been some type of an accident near the entrance to Greenbrier 2, and improperly there is only one way in and one way out. The original documentation says that there is a second, but they closed it all up. The brilliant minds that took control of the association and running it. And I have the original documents that go back to 1978 when they went before the planning board, that's U.S. Homes, and said they, the association at that time, and they would turn it over to us, would be responsible for roads, for sidewalks, for lawns, for lawn maintenance, for snow removal. And it's not my responsibility for anything that gets done on that property. They have the ability to do it. I have my home and my 100 by 50 feet that I can do what I want with, but the people that took advantage and are now dead don't know that. Be glad to lead you down to the county and show you the books in the county.
Thank you, Ms. Call.
So,
If you have
yes.
any issues with the Greenbrier 2 Association, I suggest you bring them to the Greenbrier 2
will,
Association.
but the issue
Thank you so much
is
for your comments
you-
this evening.
You,
We gave you over your allotted time.
you, the
Please be
council,
seated.
are supposed to oversee the community.
Please be
But
seated.
we'll handle
Thank
that
you
with
for your
another
comments, Ms.
situation.
Call. Anybody else this evening? Seeing none, close comments. Mrs. Bergen.
I have nothing, thank you.
Hi, we gotta do something about these chairs. I feel like I'm like the adult, I'm the kid sitting at the grown-up table right now.
You're the
No,
kid
no,
at the
look
grown-up
at me,
table.
what do I look like here? I'm like, I feel like I can barely see over the table right now. Anyway, it's been a busy last couple of weeks. On Friday, July 14th, I had the honor, along with Councilwoman DeYoung, of going to the ribbon cutting for a new business in town, Monmouth Computer Associates. Actually, it's not a new business, it was a new building opening. They are located on Chambers Bridge Road, right near the post office, just in front of the post office. Sort of in front of the post office? Yeah, in that corner. But there's bunting still out. It's really a beautiful building. And it was my pleasure to be there with the Chamber of Commerce for that ribbon cutting. Autism Surf Day was supposed to be held on July 25th, and while we all did show up for that exciting day, Mother Nature did not cooperate. She was actually in quite a bad mood that day. It was raining sideways at one point, and we did not get to host that event, but I do want to send a shout out to our lifeguards and the Brick Township High School football team. They all came out in force anyway, and we were able to at least have a moment with them. And one or two of the would-be surfers who did come out at least to meet with us and enjoy a snack, even though we were all soaked standing under the overhang. We'll try again for next year. I'm sure next year we'll have better weather. I was honored also on July 20th to go to visitation lunch. I spoke about that earlier. And it was really fabulous to have that opportunity to, actually, Council President DeYoung, sorry, was with me on that day as well. It was a lot of fun meeting with people who come to that event and also having the opportunity to help serve in another form members of our community. It's really a fabulous event, and I highly encourage everyone. As Marilyn says, it's open to anyone and everyone. It's open to our community and anyone from surrounding communities. Actually, there were some people from surrounding communities who came to not just have a meal with people, which is really, that's important, obviously, to be able to provide that meal, but also to help build relationships. A lot of people who attend this meal don't have a lot of opportunity for social engagement outside of their home, and this is just an easy and wonderful opportunity to have that ability to meet with other people who live in town and live nearby and have that social construct that we all need to have conversations with people around us. So again, the next visitation community lunch is on August 17th. Doors open at 11 and lunch is served at 12, and my goal is to get there again to meet with the community and help out the church. It was really a lot of fun. I held a Facebook Live on July 20th. It was okay. You know, we didn't have a ton of people. We're still giving that a shot. I'm not as smooth as Mayor Ducey with quick answers on the questions, but it's something that I really enjoy doing, and I feel like it's something that we could grow into, so we'll try to do another one coming up. I appreciate those people who did log on and ask questions, and some of the questions that were asked, I was able to report back out to see if we could get some assistance that was asked for. We have one more Summerfest left on Thursday so far. Weather's been great. Looks like Thursday is going to be the same. Jesse's Girl was last week. It was really fantastic. And our last Summerfest is going to be this Thursday. And the band is Garden State Radio. Am I right? Oh, yeah. Garden State Radio. I highly encourage you to take the shuttle buses. I took the shuttle bus from Midstreams, and I got home about a half hour earlier than the last 2 times that I drove my car. So if you have opportunity to get to a shuttle bus, it's a smooth ride, yet another opportunity for you to sit and talk with people that you might not normally have met, and it's a lot quicker. I thought I was going to have to wait online to get onto the bus, and we literally walked up the path. A bus loaded, they took off, and another bus pulled right into its place. So I highly recommend the shuttle buses if you live in any part of town that's near one, and perhaps you will get to ride along with the mayor at some point. So maybe I'll see you Thursday night if you get on the Midstreams bus. I also had the opportunity Friday, along with a lot of our council, to attend the Rotary Safety Equipment fundraiser that they have each year. It's a dinner fundraiser, and it was a really wonderful time. A lot of our police officers come out, and the Rotary does a fabulous job raising money to help not only purchase safety equipment for our police officers, but also for our canine units. And they had a great presentation by our canine unit that evening that a lot of people enjoyed, and it's a lot of fun to see those officers and their dogs come out. I don't say officers, I was saying officers about the dogs. Come out and show how they work with our officers. It was really cool to watch. So great event that they host each year, and I thank the Rotary for their hard work in helping to raise those funds and provide some of those pieces of equipment that we need vitally for our officers and our canine unit. If you haven't caught any of my crate conversations, there's 3 more coming up. I had the opportunity, 4 more. I have an art teacher from Brick Memorial. We're talking about murals, and they are working on they have actually murals all throughout Brick Township, Brick Memorial High School, excuse me. And we are talking with our cultural arts group here in Town Hall to figure out how we can do this as some sort of townwide event. So stay tuned for that. I had Officer Rossi on, and that's up on our Facebook page right now. We're talking about National Night Out, which I'll talk about in a second. I had someone from Save Barnegat Bay talking about jellyfish, which you would think would be like, ew, jellyfish, what are we gonna talk about that? Super interesting, so I recommend you tune in, especially if you live on the water. And today I had Rob Brown on, who talked to us about safety at the beach, safety with our children, and also, in case you didn't notice, if you haven't been to the beaches, the safety flags that are up, they have changed. The meanings of those flags have changed a little bit, and he goes over what the different meanings are for those flags, and he also talked about our junior lifeguard program. So some really great conversations coming up. If you follow us on Facebook, the Township on Facebook, you can catch those on our Facebook page, or you can tune into YouTube. And my understanding is that they're also on BTV, kind of on a cycle as well. So catch those. There's some good conversations about things that you might not know about that are going on in Brick. This week we have the police camp going on. I'm very excited that I get to go tomorrow. Tomorrow, Point Pleasant, their police camp will be joining our Brick Township police camp at Windward Beach, and I'll be showing up at 10 a.m. and maybe getting in on some of the competition taking place. I have no idea. Hopefully they don't break me, but I'm looking forward to going and spending time not only with our police officers who work so well with our community, but also spending time with some of those kids that come out for that police camp. It's a great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it. I mentioned National Night Out. That's on August 1st at, I believe, 6 p.m. at Windward. And please stop by for that event. It's not only an opportunity for you to meet our police, our EMS is there, we have the fire department there, lots of our community services come out for that event, so you can visit all of those tables. We have our Touch a Truck event, which has been a huge success. So our DPW volunteers, their time, they bring out all the cool big trucks, and the kids have the opportunity to kind of climb on board, check them out, see what they look like. Kids and trucks, it's a natural pairing, so please make sure you bring your children out for that. And also, please be aware that if you watch the Great Conversation with Riley Sherwood, she is a Girl Scout here in town who is working on her silver project, and that project is the Fill the Classroom project, and her goal, as I've stated in the past, is to collect new and gently used items that can be used in our classrooms beginning in September. The new items will be going mostly out to our students, and there are some used items that she's looking for as well. I talk about that on the Facebook Live that we just recently had, but she will have a table and a bin for collections at National Night Out, so maybe do a little shopping at Staples or Walmart or Target before you come and pick up some notebooks or folders or dry erase markers or pencils or pens, and you can drop those items in. She's also taking monetary donations so that she can take those out and purchase items that she's short on, and then there will be a teacher shopping day in August that we'll announce for Brick teachers to come out and do some shopping ahead of time so they can provide those items for their students for the first day of school. Our Traders Cove concert series is coming up. I can't believe it's almost August, but every Wednesday in August, we will have our Traders Cove concert series. I do not have those bands in front of me, so leaving something for someone up there to talk about. And also our Classic Car Show is coming up at Windward on Thursday, August 3rd, and I hope to see everyone there for that as well. So I think that covers it for everything we've got going on here in Brick. And sorry if I sucked up all the air in the room, but we have all been very busy the last couple of weeks, and it's been my pleasure to get out and talk with and meet with people around Brick Township, and I look forward to continuing to do so. So thank you so much.
Madam Clerk, Mrs. Murphy, Councilman Allen.
Yeah, I just want to thank all the recipients of the Community Development Block Grant. They do amazing work, service above self. Every organization is just unbelievable, and it's a real sense of community. So thank you, even though you're not here. Well, you're here. But
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes, just briefly, I wanted to comment on how happy I am that we are extending the waiver of fees for the empty storefronts. I think that it's well known that the effects of COVID on businesses, especially small businesses, can't be denied. In 2015, I believe we were the first town to waive the permit fees and costs for areas that had been vacant, to encourage new businesses and entrepreneurs to open up shop in one of our vacant areas. Again, because of the COVID and because of the restrictions I saw many businesses all over have to fold shop. So I'm hoping that this extension of the fees, which can be very significant, will encourage people to come back out and fill our storefronts. It looks better, it's better for us, and I love to shop, so thank you.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Nothing for me this evening, thank you.
Councilman Minikino.
Thank you. I'd just like to congratulate all the recipients also, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Councilwoman Travers.
I wanted to congratulate all the recipients as well. I just found it very enlightening to learn about all the programs, so I thank everyone for coming out and speaking. It was really nice to hear about all the programs available to our Brick residents. Thank you.
Council Vice President Simpson.
Thank you, Council President. So I too would like to congratulate the recipients and thank them for their service to our community. And while I agree with Mayor Crate that this is always a great night in Brick, I personally find it very emotional, a tug of emotions. On one hand, we have this great need. It's been said, I've seen it going around, if you have a roof over your head, clean clothes to wear, food to eat, and access to transportation, you should count your blessings because you're doing better than about 3/4 of the people around the world. So it's a reminder to me tonight to do that, to check myself, count my blessings, because I have all of those things. But on the other hand, it's a night of great hope because we have so very many community groups that step up. Volunteer groups, that's what I heard over and over and over tonight. Volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. We are a volunteer group. We could not do it. The Department of Labor considers volunteers unpaid labor. If you were to put a dollar amount on their time, their talent, and probably their personal treasure, because I know I volunteered for groups and you're always reaching into your pocket for like, oh, I'll be the one to stop at the Wawa and pick up the milk for the coffee station. It just really, really couldn't do it without them, and the small amounts we're able to give through the CDBG grant just scratches the surface of all that they do for our community. So I can't say it enough. It's an enlightening evening. Reminds me personally to count my blessings, but I also want to thank all of the groups and the many, many, many volunteers that make it all happen. And I just want to say one other thing about that. We heard a lot tonight from more than one group about addressing social isolation. For those of us that are not normally in that situation, I think COVID opened our eyes to that. Yes. When we were all forced into our home to isolate from our friends and family and the social groups that we normally belong to. So this is just, again, it's a reminder of the impact that these groups have in bringing people together and meeting those needs. And a lot of them, like Marilyn, I know you said your program was shut down, but there were during COVID, but there were other programs that were able to adapt and do pickup. I don't know whether visitation did, but do, curbside pickup and whatnot. So there was at least some porch deliveries, some measure of contact, some way for folks who were isolated in their home to know that there was someone else out there that cared for them, cared about them, and helped to meet their needs. So it's like I said, it's an emotional night, but it's also a night of great hope for me because there's so many out there in our community that are serving our residents, and I thank you all so very, very much. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you. I will piggyback on what Mayor Crate said about Traders Cove Concert Series. The first Wednesday is Function Band. Second is Basso Brothers. Third is Strictly 60s. And the last Wednesday in August is Jukebox Legends. And again, I just want to thank all the CDBG recipients for all that they do. We recently had a little bit of a incident over at the Chambersbridge residence, and a couple of our units were displaced. And I know some of the nonprofits here that were awarded money were the ones stepping up and helping out those those residents that were displaced. They were able to give toiletries, they were able to give laundry detergent, gift cards, food. So they come in times of need, not just for their participants of who they serve, but for the community as a whole when we have an incident here at home. So with that, I want to thank everybody for attending this evening. Our next council meeting is August 8th. May I have a motion and a second to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.